Hello, this is Jennifer Moore, Media Services Specialist at Memorial Elementary School, and I'd like to discuss a little weeding project that I have done in one section of our school library. To start with, I decided to focus on the 790s in the Dewey Decimal System. This is a recreation, and the 790s in particular does contain books about video games and sports, and this does seem to be one of the more popular areas of the nonfiction section in my library. Our school district does use Access-It as its digital cataloging tool. We switched over to this in the spring of this calendar year, so it is we are less than 1 year into using this cataloging system. I had to learn how to use it for this project. I used the advanced search function, and in the call number box, I put in a range of numbers that I wanted to look at. And in the borrowable box, I said yes to borrowable. From there, I came up with a list of 126 borrowable items in the 790s in our school library, and then I did sort them by year of publication. Next, I applied the CREW method. We are continually reviewing our collection, we are evaluating our collection, and then ultimately weeding it. We will discard titles when, in this particular section, when the copyright date is more than 10 years old, and or the last time the item was checked out was more than 3 years ago, and or it falls into one of the musty categories. And in this particular section, there are 3 things we want to look at for the sports and games. We want to know, have the rules and interests changed for these sports and games? Do the items show a gender and or racial bias? And are the statistics outdated? I did want to make a note about the item number 2 on this slide. As far as checkouts go, our cataloging system only takes checkouts as far back as the spring when the Access-It catalog started to be used. However, our library just opened up about 15 months ago, so I don't have any kind of indication of whether these books have been checked out prior to 15 months ago. General impressions of the 126 titles. It is one of the more robust sections in nonfiction. I believe the only section that might have more titles is our biographies. Of the 126 titles, 14 had a copyright date older than 2013, which is 11% of the titles in the section could be weeded based on the copyright date alone. Here is a sample of the some of the items that need to be removed. You'll see these 3 titles. One of them has a very old copyright date, and most of these titles have names and figures and stats that are so old they're out of date and not really relevant anymore. This little collection of Let's Play that looks delightful, but you're going to notice that there is definitely a racial bias with these books, that they're portraying mostly children who are white. These 2 copies, Sleepovers and Throwing Parties, are 15 years old, and definitely parties and sleepovers have changed in the past 15 years. The Goalkeeper book is one of 2 about soccer, and they are gender biased, only showing men playing the sports. And then Baseball Hour has a typical baseball practice, but once again, it is out of date. So how did the CREW do? It does look like, according to my assessment, that most of the titles with copyright dates older than 10 years ago have already been removed. And what I would like the CREW to improve upon is removing books with gender and or racial bias and outdated statistics. Finally, these are the 2 references that I used during this analysis and making the presentation. Thank you so much.